The market just dropped 5% in a single day. Your phone is buzzing with red alerts. And somewhere on financial Twitter, a guy named Crypto King is telling you this is totally fine. Spoiler, it is not totally fine. But here's the thing, if you are panicking right now, you were never actually prepared. Most people build portfolios the way they pack for a vacation, optimistically, with no rain jacket, assuming the weather will just cooperate. The market does not cooperate. It never promised to cooperate. And yet, every single cycle, we act genuinely shocked when it stops cooperating. Here is the catalyst nobody wants to admit. Crashes do not come from nowhere. They come from times everywhere at once, times rising rates, over-leveraged positions, sentiment reversals, and that one moment when the last optimist finally sells. Think of it like a game of musical chairs, where the music has been slowing down for months, and everyone just kept dancing anyway. We had headlines in 2021 calling this the golden age of investing. Retail traders were up triple digits, and a guy literally bought a boat with his options profits and posted it online. Fast forward 18 months, and that same account was posting long-term investor for the first time in his life. The psychological damage of a real drawdown is underestimated, almost universally. Studies show investors feel losses roughly twice as intensely as equivalent gains, which means a 30% drop does not just hurt, it rewires your decision-making. Howard Marks once said, "The most dangerous investors are those who have only ever seen a bull market." And brother, we minted millions of those between 2020 and 2022. History rhymes with an almost comedic consistency. 1987 had Black Monday, 2000 had the dot-com implosion, 2008 had the housing collapse, and 2020 had a crash and a full recovery within the same calendar year. Each one felt uniquely catastrophic in the moment. Each one eventually became a footnote, and each one made someone very rich and someone else very broken, depending entirely on their preparation. Volatility is not the enemy. It is actually the price of admission for long-term returns, and the market has always charged that price, whether you agreed to it or not. Every cycle teaches the same lesson, and somehow we still act like this one is different, which is either deeply human or deeply hilarious, depending on your mood. Now, let's kill a misconception right now. Going to cash during a crash sounds smart, but it is one of the most consistently wealth-destroying moves in investing history, because you now have two decisions to get right: when to get out times and times when to get back in. Studies from Dalbar show the average investor dramatically underperforms the index, precisely because of this kind of emotionally driven market timing. So what does the actual playbook look like? The one that does not require you to be Warren Buffett or have a Bloomberg terminal. It starts with position sizing, meaning no single holding should have the power to ruin you. And it continues with a rebalancing trigger, meaning you decide in advance at what percentage drop you will add times to positions, not flee from them. Diversification gets mocked in bull markets as the hedge of the ignorant. But in a crash, it is the only reason some portfolios survive while others evaporate entirely. Holding a mix of uncorrelated assets, think bonds, real assets, international exposure is not exciting, it is not a flex, but it is the financial equivalent of wearing a seatbelt, which suddenly feels very cool at 70 miles per hour into a guardrail. The investors who consistently outperform across cycles are not the ones with the best stock picks. They are the ones with the most disciplined times process. The ones who wrote down their rules before the chaos started and then actually followed them. Conviction without a system is just gambling with extra steps and a Robinhood account. Patience is the rarest asset in a crash because everything in your nervous system is screaming at you to times do something, and the correct answer is almost always to do slightly less than you think you should. The best trade you ever make might be the one you decided not to make at 2 a.m. while doom scrolling a Reddit thread titled, "Is this the end?" At the philosophical level, a portfolio crash is not a punishment. It is a test, and the test has nothing to do with your stock picking ability and everything to do with whether you size your positions to survive uncertainty rather than just profit from certainty. Discipline, consistency, and knowing what you own, and times you own it, are the only durable edges available to anyone who is not operating a hedge fund. Prepare your mind. Prepare your allocations. Prepare your watch list of things you times want times to own cheaper, and then almost paradoxically, get comfortable with any outcome. Because the goal was never to predict the crash, it was to be unbroken by it. Whether the market drops another 20% or rips back to all-time highs next quarter, the prepared investor has already won the only game that actually matters. And if you want to take that same disciplined, process-first mindset and put it to work in assets you can actually touch, whether that is real estate investing, home contracting projects, or finding the right lenders to back your next move, check out our links in the description below and let us help you get started.